Well, good morning, friends. Welcome to Monday, the day after the spring forward. So, I don't know if you know, statistically, more people have car accidents on this day than most days of the year. So, be careful if you're out driving and pay close attention. You know why? Because you're up at the wrong time, and you probably haven't had enough coffee if that's your thing. But seriously, be careful because it is a day that people are often groggy and more accidents happen. Yesterday was also the fourth Sunday of Lent, and in the fourth Sunday of Lent, there's a psalm that begins "Rejoice, Jerusalem," and in the Latin, I think it's "Laetare" is the word, which means joy or rejoice. And in sometimes this is celebrated as Pink Sunday. It's celebrated as a Sunday of celebration and joy in the midst of Lent, and it's sort of set aside. And the tradition is to emphasize joy in the midst of our Lenten journey, right? When we're thinking about our sins and fasting and thinking about reconciliation and maybe deepening our prayer life, preparing for baptism, all those different things that happen. It's meant to be sort of a day in which we are lifted up. And it's fun to think about joy sometimes and how maybe you experience that. But there's also a lot more to joy than just happiness and euphoria. Joy is sometimes authentic joy is a depth of feeling. It's sort of like when you see someone who maybe has a success for the first time in a long time and you want to rejoice with them. It can be overcoming or coming out of a season of grief or difficulty in which you're able to feel a smile again. That can be a place of joy. It can be in the excitement of new relationship or new friends, or success on a test or whatever it might be. It can be these different things that bring you joy, or it can simply be seeing a flower blooming for the first time in the spring, or the holding of the hand of a loved one, or whatever it might be. Henry Nouwen writes that each day holds a surprise, but only if we expect it can we see it, hear, or feel it when it comes to us. Let's not be afraid to receive each day's surprise, whether it comes to us as sorrow or as joy. It will open a new place in our hearts, a new place where we can welcome new friends and celebrate more fully our shared humanity. Think about that for a minute, about joy or sadness or sorrow or the different things we experience, but how each day brings a surprise to each one of us. A surprise that can sometimes be delight, and a surprise that can sometimes be a challenge or whatever it is. But if we are in a place of expectation to receive what's coming in our life, it might be really a different way that we encounter that. So what are you thinking about today in terms of what do you expect? What joy can you expect to try to find, or what sorrow, or what challenge, or what reality in your life? To be open and fully in the moment, fully in those times, and ready to receive that can bring something new and a new depth, is what Henry Nouwen is saying, a new depth to our understanding of others and our shared humanity. I think probably part of the tradition about why that came about is for that very reason. It's kind of something to look forward to. If you would have been steeped in that tradition and you're looking forward to the fourth Sunday of Lent, and it's going to be the day that you have that sense of joy and rejoicing in the midst of that season, that's something sort of to look forward to and to be anxious about or anticipating. In much the same way, I remember one of my mentors, Marilyn White. I talk about her a lot. She always had this she was kind of a smaller person. I think she was probably about 5'2". And she had these big eyes. Part of it was because of the glasses she wore, but she had these big eyes. And I know when I would go over, I would do work for her, and we would be talking, and she'd be asking about what I was doing. I was like, well, I'm doing this thing in choir, I'm got this thing going on, or I'm doing this. And she had this way of just sort of looking at you and saying, oh, that's wonderful. And she would just be so joyful about whatever you brought to her. And I can still hear that wonderful. And I remember how much I look forward to her having joy in whatever it was that I was doing. I could have told her almost anything. I got a C on a test, and she would have said that was wonderful because last time I got a D, or whatever it might have been. But I remember her deep sense of joy. And what I also knew about her is it came from prayer. It also came from all the things that she had been through in her life, all the realities. And she literally chose to look for those moments of joy in each day in her life. So I hope you have a great Monday. I hope you can find some surprise today, some way to be delighted, and some way to embrace your humanity, your joy, and your sorrow. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, my constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free, for His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Let not thy heart be troubled, His tender words I hear, and resting on His goodness, I lose my doubts and fears. Though by the path He leadeth, but one step I may see. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free, for His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Whenever I am tempted, whenever clouds arise, when song gives place to sighing, when hope within me dies, I draw the closer to Him. From care He sets me free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free, for His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches